Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be not a potato, but BotTato taking on Roro. A Terran bot that's been around a while, but doesn't get featured on the channel maybe as much as it should. And there's reasons for that, and I'm sure I'll talk about that at some point. But yes, we've got Roro, a Terran bot that's known for kind of playing, I guess, mass styles. Like, I know it has gone mass Cyclone, it's played Bio, it's got mass Battlecruisers, I think. But it's also got like some interesting command center behavior, I recall, from the past, like this sort of abandoning bases if they're under attack, that kind of thing. Now, yeah, BotTato, on the other hand, is a bot that's fairly well-rounded for the most part, it seems. And we'll just see whether it can take on a bot like Roro, as Roro is programmed by a very good bot author who also programmed Zozo, in case you didn't recognize the similarities. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this match, make sure to go ahead, click that like button if you haven't already. If we can get, I don't know, 8 likes or something, that would be amazing. You guys always blow it out of the water for being a smaller channel. Leave a comment down below. If we can get as many comments as likes, that would be amazing. I don't know, write your own diary in there, whatever it may be. Random shower thoughts that pop into your head. And yeah. Subscribe if you haven't already. This is the only place to get StarCraft 2 daily bot videos. The bot scene is incredibly fun to track and watch. And yeah, just big thanks to everyone who is a YouTube member. It goes a long way to allowing us to do daily videos and weekend tournaments, that kind of thing. So let's see here, as we do have the bunker from Roro going up at the front, a nice safe catch-all. It did notably assign SCVs to chase away the SCV of BotTato, just playing it nice and safe. SCVs even being pulled in the face of one Reaper, which I do like, as Reapers can definitely get out of hand. So sometimes it is worth it for a bot author when you're programming to have a bit of a heavy-handed response, just to increase survivability. We do have SCVs being pulled against the Reaper once more. Marines responding. So nice pathing from Roro. And then getting these SCVs back to work after repairing them up. But yeah, BotTato's Reaper Micro looking quite nice. Not dying, although it does eat a few shots from that bunker. Meanwhile, the red Terran bot is building up its own bunker, building up its command center. I kind of laugh just at how common the bunkers are for Terran bots. It's one of the best options you have as an author to increase survivability. They're also arguably better than they should be due to the fact that the API doesn't reveal whether a bunker has units in it. So a bunker can be empty, and your bot's units, if they have any sort of pathing to consider threats, will think that the bunker is full. Of course, you can maybe program around that a little bit, but still. Yeah, bunkers are a very good catch-all. Well, maybe not catch-all, more like catch 90%. We've got a siege tank going up for both of these bots as well, so that is the next step when it comes to programming a Terran bot. Tanks are incredibly powerful, as they can shoot incredibly far, which makes programming against them quite difficult, as they can shoot further than they can be seen. So if your bot doesn't have any kind of memory or something like that, it can get shot by a tank, retreat, and go, I don't know, be like Dory from Finding Nemo and just forget all about it, then run back into the tank, which is not great behavior, and we've seen it in the past. We've got a third command center going up on location for BotTato. Roro is building a third command center in its main base, so both of these bots getting up a nice economy. Looks like Roro maybe has just been hitting that SCV production a little bit harder than BotTato, allowing it to get a nice little worker lead, actually. Yeah, 7 workers just from general macro is quite impressive. We see for a moment that there's just like a slight delay between the next SCV being fired up for BotTato, which I wonder if it's always delayed or if it just prioritizes units, something like that. we do get a tag, Battlecruiser Rush detected by BotTato, as it's actually got a Viking that has flown across the map and is now you guys can't see this, but there's a random Viking for BotTato that has flown across the map, doesn't actually shoot the flying command center, but then forces it back, so delaying the expansion. And then BotTato trying to get aggressive, definitely not going to break this location with a handful of Marines. Its Viking is now just flying back home. I didn't even see that Viking leave and fly out there, but that's a very comedic reaction. Maybe saved, maybe delayed BotTato's economy by, or Roro's economy by a little bit, which allows BotTato to perhaps close that worker gap a tiny bit. We are getting turrets going up. Funnily enough, the Viking of BotTato did see there's a fusion core from Roro, so it's going to be a battlecruiser build from Roro, which is definitely exciting. And honestly, I think Roro is probably like the most battlecruiser focused battlecruiser bot. For example, we've got Benbot, another very good Terran bot. However, it likes to mix in bio. Roro is more like, let's mass this one unit and logistics be damned. Roro is now under attack, though, as that base landed and turned into a planetary. However, it's taking lots of damage prior to that. So Marines are able to shoot away at this morphing building, unable to deny it, though, as BotTato does elect to just go on home after losing the buffering for the tanks. The tank could have, in theory, kept shelling that planetary for quite a while, but BotTato does go home upon losing a chunk of its army. Probably the wise decision. Now, we'll see how well BotTato responds to battlecruisers. It kind of got lucky with that Viking scout. Seeing that they were coming is an important heads up, so it's got one starport that's producing a Viking, one that's producing a Banshee. Actually, maybe it can get some nice damage done with a Banshee, although it doesn't have cloak. We're now getting 2 Vikings produced at a time. Tech Labs, no reactors, though, means that the production is rather limited, and BotTato is up against 2 battlecruisers being constructed at a time. Roro's economy is getting very out of hand as well. As we can see, that 4th base is already done and morphed into a planetary. Meanwhile, we've got like a 5th and a 6th, a 5th done, a 6th on the way. So the economy is looking real nice. We've got BotTato coming in and getting aggressive once more. Widowmines do burrow. The planetary cannot see them. However, I think there was some friendly fire there that allowed the PF to actually kill the 2 Widowmines. That's really painful because 2 mines would have drastically softened up this battlecruiser. Instead, BotTato's just going to have to run home. I like the attempted attack. It does fall short. I don't know where this Viking's going. For now, though, it looks like Roro may be able to get up this 6th base. It's got this other location now landing as well. So the economy of Roro is looking quite scary. BotTato takes a more passive approach to the economy, sort of like one base at a time when it needs it, I believe. And it's difficult to say which bot author is right as far as design philosophy goes. Vikings are hunting down a Raven. It hasn't got any kills. Maybe it was harassing with an auto turret, something like that. So nice pathing on both of these bots. The Raven trying to stay alive, the Viking pursuing it. Viking does forget about the Raven, and then the Raven flies past the Viking. So maybe I spoke too soon, as we do have a landed Viking from BotTato. Looks like it will die. Vikings always want to fight things that they should not be fighting, as the dies to the planetary. So maybe that's what the Viking initially was trying to do for BotTato at the start of the game. Get some harassment done, potentially. I do like it, as Vikings are quite good harassment units. The air, the landing, maybe has lots of potential. Widowmines do burrow. Looks like Roro is going to fly over them with... Yeah, does fly over the Widowmines, loses 2 Vikings for 2 mines. That's a good trade, all things considered, by BotTato. This Viking can, in theory, kite the battlecruisers for days. There's no upgrades on either side yet for the mech units, though, so the battlecruisers will take a long time to get killed off, actually. There's 1 turret at this 3rd base location, but the 3 BCs, they just fly on in. Their teleport's off cooldown, and they are shooting the turret. Nice repair by BotTato, but it's not going to be enough. Needed more than 3 SCVs on that, so BotTato has to bring the rest of its Vikings around, start shooting at these battlecruisers, forces 1 to retreat, and probably will drive them all away, but not before losing a decent number of SCVs, having production delayed. Looks like Yamato Cannon is done now too, which makes things considerably worse, as now the battlecruisers can just get efficiency by Yamatoing, teleporting home, Yamatoing, teleporting home. So we'll definitely have to pay attention to that Viking count of BotTato. Presently, there's a 4th starport being constructed. Probably going to be a tech lab on that one if I had to guess. Looks like we don't get to know yet. Battle cruisers are coming back in. Vikings are kiting. However, does this one actually die? Looks like it does perish. So that battle cruiser with a bit of miss micro goes down. The first one to die, I believe, as Roro is just sending out more and more battle cruisers. It's adding its own Vikings into the mix and just has a ridiculous economy to back this up. It's only got 2 orbitals, but it's got plenty of bases to mine from. So it's got a lot of longevity in this game to play this out. BotTato will need to take more bases to kill some of these planetaries at some point. Yamato Cannon hits a turret, kills it. Vikings of BotTato are trying to respond to the battlecruiser threat. There's plenty of Marines on the ground helping out as well, even stimming under some of the Vikings. That's quite nice, as the Marines do have 1-1 attack. That can really help them out. Looks like some of the Vikings of Roro, or pardon me, the battlecruisers of Roro are not actually teleporting home, so maybe missing an escape opportunity there. It looks like they're trying to manually attack. That may be overriding their retreat behavior. BotTato, after pushing back this previous wave, is now going to try and get aggressive. Banshee with Cloak flies into a turret. Nice repair behavior from Roro. We get a tag support jump. No actual support jumps, I think, have been made, as, yeah, okay, there comes in one battlecruiser, similar to Benbot's style, to try and save bases. We'll see if this BC can save this location. 2 SCVs are working very hard to repair the PF. Does it go down? Looks like the tank's on siege, as BotTato wavers in the face of this and is not able to kill off that planetary, at least not yet. Yamato Cannon gets queued up, kills off a Viking. Right now, we've seen 14 Vikings die for BotTato to the 8 and 2 battlecruisers. So things aren't looking too hot. We'll see if BotTato, with its tanks, can shell away on this planetary. It just needs to be able to attack it for a while. The tank's on siege, as the battlecruiser count is too high. I do love the Widow Mines getting shots off. I love Drilling Claws, as Cloak is very powerful in bot matches if there's no scan behavior, which there very well may not be against something like random Widow Mines out on the map. We've got BotTato just producing more Marines. It isn't going to have 2-2 on them. It's getting, well, it's got +1 attack. It's getting +2 armor for its Vikings, so that will benefit them. Roro's catching up with 1-1 for its battlecruisers on the way, and BCs really benefit from upgrades, perhaps more than any other unit in StarCraft 2, because they have a high rate of fire, which is good for attack. They have a high HP pool, which is very good to get efficiency out of that armor. Now we've got BotTato producing more barracks, getting up lots of production. I'm not sure it's all in use though, so I don't know whether it actually needs all this. It's got 8 barracks out presently. It's building another 2. I'm not sure it's maxing them out, but we'll see if BotTato can even hold on in the face of this. We do have a mass marine attack hitting another planetary fortress location, but only 1 tank to support. The tank unsieges yet again and is trying to help with the engagement against the battle cruisers. That's not ideal, as the tank sieges up. Widow Mine going to hit the BCs. Widow Mines are really nice against battle cruisers due to that high damage, but unfortunately they do not have drilling claws, so they're not getting those. They're not getting more than 1 shot off, basically. Vikings still skirmishing, as we've got a rather epic TVT on our hands. Bio of BotTato trying to hold the line, but Yamato Cannon is good, killing off the Vikings, keeping that anti-air count down, as BotTato is just trying to kite against the BC's Marines, maybe finding some bases. Roro literally has got all the other bases on the map. There's not a free location for BotTato to expand for to get a potential 6th base, which it will need relatively soon. We do have 3-3 on the way for the Marines to help out, but as we can see, the unlimited micro of the battle cruisers, they can just stay out of that perfect range, and it really prevents the Marines from getting on top of the BCs. You generally need to stim under battle cruisers, or this will happen. And yeah, BotTato is just feeding into Roro right now. The mass battle cruiser play is looking pretty darn good. Yamato Cannon's killing off the Vikings. The mass Marines are trying, but these bases will be mining out pretty darn soon, I think. And unfortunately, BotTato was not able to pool up enough units. This is where you need to get 200 supply of Vikings out, basically anti-armor missile from a Raven or two, or just, yeah, something counterattacks, whatever it may be. Very nice behavior by Roro. Yamato cannons hitting more Vikings. The bunker might hold the line for a little bit, but we are just at that kind of death spiral as BotTato is feeding in. Yamato cannon going off, killing off even more Vikings. This really is a great example of just how the battle cruisers can get efficiency with that Yamato cannon. Just basically use it all the time, then teleport the battle cruisers home. The grouping is really nice on the battle cruisers of Roro, and it's got all the money in the world, maxed out, getting its upgrades going. Now would be the time where it could build a ton of orbitals. It doesn't even need that. We've even got multi-grouping of the BCs, 2 locations, and yeah, BotTato unable to repel this. The Vikings, they're kiting, they're shooting, but there's a Yamato cannon, so they are unable to get the value they need, as, yeah, just they're dying as quickly as possible. And yeah, really well done by Roro. I didn't really touch on it, but the reason why I don't cast Roro is it has a lot of suspiciously long games where I think it might kind of force draws sometimes. And I have seen games of it in the past where it'll be dead and basically just turtling, but definitely not in this match. So we'll check out some more Roro games. And yeah, well done. BotTato maybe could have gone about this a little bit differently. Say if it, I think it did build too much production in this game. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, it was making a ton of Marines at a time. I'm not sure there was ever a point in the game, though, that it was building 4 Vikings at a time to need 4 starports, to need the extra factory, as production is quite expensive, and it might have been what prevented BotTato from hitting that critical mass you need to deal with your opponent's critical mass. As, yeah, and then honestly, just Marines to deal with BCs is quite tricky. Cyclones could be good, but again, Yamato cannon. Once you reach a critical mass of battle cruisers, you can, in theory, just whittle your opponent down again and again and again. I think a good place to start would be drilling claws on the Widow Mines. If those mines have a bit more survivability, they might honestly just deal enough damage to prevent the snowball getting out of hand. Maybe BotTato can max out then, but not in this game. If you guys want to see a rematch between these two, click that like button, leave a comment letting me know you want to see a rematch. Subscribe if you haven't already and you watch to the end of this video. You probably enjoy these bot matches. If you want to support daily botcasts, consider becoming a YouTube member. And big thanks to everyone who does. And if you're a bot author, maybe you have a cool game, maybe you just started programming your first bot today. Feel free to send me a replay to cast, as long as the games are at least somewhat entertaining. I don't need to see a 60-second replay in which your bot crashes, like many new bots do, but once you've got it going, feel free to send me a replay. As we do have victory taking a bit of time. Roro, though, getting it done. The bunker repair, keeping the bunker alive. But it shall not be enough. GG.